All right, so today in this video, we're going to be covering the Magnazone indicator available right now for the Tradingview platform. So if you're interested at all in getting the Magnazone, go ahead and check out the link in the description or in the comments, wherever. But I'm going to show you exactly what the Magnazone does on the chart and then basically how you can trade with it. So one of my favorite indicators to this date is the Magnazone. And essentially what it does is it is essentially going into, we call it, or I call it, the magnet zones, right? And so that's kind of how the name started. But really what it does is price will come in to these specific zones right here. Go ahead and hide that, but they'll come into these zones right here and they'll respect it. And what the Magnazone will do is, prior to this, so you see this right here, how we just been going, it will give you a level to watch. And so our level to watch here is 190, 191 to 189. And it basically just says, okay, this is the high over here. And again, you can do all of this yourself. There's 100%, there is no reason why this, couldn't work by yourself. But this is just one of the, I love having indicators to kind of do all the work for me because it really does find some of the best levels that you really don't have to, go back and think, okay, is that a strong enough level? If it's a strong level, it will put it on the chart no matter what. There's a lot of calculations and a lot of cool stuff going on behind the scenes to make sure that it does these specific levels at specific prices. But anyways, once we get, and so look how it just respected this. It just continued to just bounce and bounce and bounce. And so what do we need to wait for? Well, in this resistance zone, so this is this color right here is resistance. Down here is support. So this will be a support zone. This right here will be a resistance zone. So all you got to do is just wait for a confirmation of a breakout. So right here, let's go back into this. So right here, we actually are looking like there's going to be a confirmation breakout of this. So that is a good sign. This is all the way up on the daily chart as well. So when you get confirmation daily breakouts on pretty big stocks like Palantir or any of the pretty much, it actually doesn't really even matter. It really doesn't. If you're getting breakouts or bounces on really anything, that is a great time. That is a great entry point. And so this would be so if we do get a confirmation right here, this will be a great place to get in an entry buy position because it has broken the level. And what's great about this is now this kind of acts as like a stop loss. So if it does come back into it, you just get out and go on, move on to the next one, right? And so but a lot of the times when you get a breakout like this, they will continue to go. So let's actually look at the SPY. There was a lot of breakouts on here. So our last big time, and it took, we haven't gotten really another level on SPY on the daily. But all the way down here was a beautiful breakout. So it was a beautiful breakout on S&P, and it drew these levels. It actually went through one, went through another one, and it just literally just ran up from there. So that's kind of the idea on those. And we get different different entries depending on what it is. So this is NVIDIA. This is a really nice one right here. This was a quick little bounce, so that could have been a nice little put position there, and then or a short position, and then boom, another just a amazing breakout trade right there. So these were all alerts, and so you can literally just right click, add yourself an alert, go to Magnazone, and get yourself. Well, you would just do any alert function call, which essentially would be, or you could just do one of these. So if you just want flip buys or bounce buys or bounce sells, you could do that. But usually I'll just do the alert function call. So what that'll do is, and by the way, we have an explanation, a full explanation on this, so you don't even really need to worry about this. I kind of like to over explain things sometimes, just because I know if you're watching this and you're interested, you're going to want to know the ins and outs and little details of this. So that's kind of the cool thing with that. One of my favorite things to do with this. And so we have max lines to display. So we're only showing two. So really what that means is that they're the two of the strongest zones that you'll get. But what I like to do is crank this thing up to maybe 20. and then just go back and then look at this right here. So if we would just, let's just say when we did break that. So let's just say when we did break that, look at all of the zones. There was one, two, was there three? Okay, there was this two, but there was two converging zones pretty much in the same area. And when we broke that out, I mean, man, what an absolute just what a crazy breakout that was. And that's the kind of stuff, that's the kind of trading that I love. That's the kind of trading that the Magnazone is best with right there. That is some of the best type of trading that anybody could do is these breakout trades, these breakout buys and the bounces. So that's pretty much a very quick explanation of it. There was a really good one on gold, and I think it might have been this one. Let me actually go forward. So when gold was going sideways, so it printed. So here's one resistance zone, and then it did two. So if you're watching this chart right now and this point and of this point of time, you would have saw these. You would have saw, okay, we have resistance up here, then we have some strong support right here. So either or would be good area. In the middle is kind of the question area, right? We don't really know. We don't really have anything to go off of. And so that's why it's good to either get in positions here or get in positions here. Because that way you kind of have an idea that, okay, there is going to be a breakout or there is going to be a bounce. So in this scenario here, on the daily gold chart, we continue to just go sideways, and then boom, look at that. So there is a third level. So we have three resistance levels up there, and then we have one right here. So, and again, this is with all of mine turned on, and then boom, we just had another one there. So this kind of just confirms to me at this point that, hey, if we get down here, this is going to be a good either a bounce or a breakdown, or if we get up here, this is going to be a major break. And before we know it, boom, there was the breakout. So that would have been the alert. That would have been, you would have saw this on the chart. If if you're like me and you watch charts if you look at charts all the time, whether it's on your phone or tablet or anything like that, boom, you would have saw that. You would have saw that beautiful breakout trade. And then gold just went on to just have probably one of the most historic runs that anybody could ever imagine, all the way up there. Then it finally is coming back down. What's cool about this, to me, is that there really isn't. So because it ran, this is important, because it ran so far up so quickly, the indicator really hasn't had time to really find anything. So let's actually crank this up even more. There isn't really anything yet. So there's nothing up there. So really the strongest possible scenario to get into another trade would be all the way down here at 317, which is going to be probably not likely, but you just never know. But that is a strong, that is one of the strongest areas where if it does come into this, you bet your bottom dollar that we'll be buying that. We'll be buying that all the way up, because I just don't know if gold will have that strong of a drop. It could, it really could. But this is the ticker GLD, and so who knows? We'll see if it does that according to at the time of this video. But that's kind of a quick little rundown, a breakdown of how you can trade support resistance and how you could trade it with a tool like the Magnazone. I think that every trader out there should have something like this. Again, can you draw these levels yourself? Yes. Is it easy to do if you have experience? Yes. Right. But to have a tool do it for you and to have it basically on autopilot where you literally just set alerts on all the, so basically if you can have an alert, you can have a setup pretty much just guaranteed by not doing anything. Once you set it up, it's kind of like a set and forget until you're ready to trade it until you get a breakout. So that's the Magnazone. Hopefully you guys found some value in that. I like it on the daily or the hourly. The hourly is very strong as well. So you can see all these levels down here. And again, I turned those on. So, but you can turn a lot of those off. We actually do have a couple levels Um, but on the I do want to show you guys this as well, because this was also really cool. So if you are using on the hourly, which is I do like to use it on the hourly down here. You get a lot of breakouts, and so you get a lot more. So there was a breakout, there was a breakout, there was a these are all buy trades, buy trade, and then no real trades in here. We could potentially either get a bounce. So right here, we could either get a bounce up, or if it does break down, we'll get a sell. So we'll get a breakout sell. So there's four different positions: a breakout buy, a breakout sell, a bounce buy, or a bounce sell. So yeah, so that's pretty much the bones and the pretty much how the Magnazone works, how you can trade it with on the chart. There's also a slew full of other cool things that we're putting into this support resistance type trading. So go ahead, and if you are interested, there will be a link either in the description or comments or anything like that. Go ahead and check it out if you're interested. And that is that's pretty much it for me. And if you have any questions about the Magnazone, throw that in the chat as well. We would be happy to answer all those questions.